Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing really well whilst at home in isolation, and I thought I'd put together a little video for you on how to knit if anyone is looking for something to do whilst they're stuck at home. So today we're going to learn how to knit a scarf like this one that I'm working on at the moment, so I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so all you need to be knitting a scarf is 3 balls of wool around this size, this is 8-ply wool, and 2 sets of needles around 5 or 6 millimeters each. So to begin, we're grabbing our ball of wool, we're knotting it by looping it over about so long, tying a loop about big enough for your 2 needles to fit through, no bigger. So, to begin, we place this loop over both needles. Now we'll be really rigid in holding the needles for today to show you how to do it all basically, but you'll become really fluid as you get to know it. So you're holding this string that's attached to the ball of wool in your right hand and the needles in your left. Bringing that piece of wool around and behind and between the needles so it comes down over that middle stitch, and you hold the right needle in your right hand with the wool. Now, this is where it becomes quite complicated because you're creating a new stitch, a second one to go with this first one. So you're turning that right needle to become a cross. You're pulling it and bringing it from behind the left needle to in front, keeping that stitch on top of it. And now you're turning it back, bringing that stitch so the right needle is also through it, the left, and then you take away the right, so you've created 2 stitches on that left hand needle. So you put the needle through the stitch, hold the wool in your right hand, bring it behind to in front and over that middle stitch, hold the right needle in your right hand, turn it, bring it from behind the left needle, keeping that little stitch on top of it to in front, and then bring that stitch over onto the left needle and take away the right. So you have a 3rd stitch. And now we're up to knitting. So it starts off very much the same as casting on. You put that right needle next to the left and through the loop at the top, bring the wool around from behind to in front of the needle and over the loop here. Then you turn the needle on the right, bring it to the front of the left one, keeping that little stitch that's so important on top of it. Now, instead of bringing that loop onto here, we leave the loop where it is and we simply use the needle to push that loop off of the left needle. Now that loop has come behind over that stitch, and that's where our length is coming from. So again, through that top loop, wool comes around from behind to in front of the right needle, over that middle loop there. Bring that needle from behind to in front and use it to push off that stitch. And in doing so, you ensure that you're only pushing 1 stitch off at a time. So through, wool around, needle from behind to in front, and then pushing that stitch off there. And you continue with this pattern until you get to the end of the needle. And you move this final stitch here with the needle through, wool around, needle from behind to in front, and stitch pushed off. Now you have it all on your right hand needle. So simply, because knitting is always moving from left to right if you're right-handed, swap those hands that the needle sits in and begin again. Right needle through the wool, wool around from behind to in front, and pushing off like so. And so that's how we do it. And this scarf, if we continued that same process, would end up looking a lot like this one now. So thank you very much for watching, and good luck. Message me if you need any help trying to learn how to knit.